So I am currently getting prepared to go early vote. I just finished my sample ballot, looking over the issues, looking over who's running in my local election so that I can, when I go into, the booth, I'm making a well-informed decision, right? And I was trying to find voting locations where they have kids voting. I have a son, and my mom always took me kids voting with her when I was younger. And so I was trying to find places that allow for the kids voting during the early vote so I could take him with me today when I go. My mom always did a really good job of trying to make me aware of, my right to vote and making sure that I exercised that right to vote and making sure that I understood, how the system is set up and how everything works. And she would always tell me, vote blue and then pay attention to, whatever is going on in the local stuff that they want you to vote for, usually taxes, bonds, and things of that nature. So there's one on the ballot in my county, and they want to increase sales tax. And they say it's going to go towards the school system, and it's for raises and things like that. My thing is, I feel like every election, there's some tax that they're trying to create to increase teacher pay, increase salaries for all these people, right? And I wholeheartedly understand. I've looked up the teacher pay in North Carolina. It is very much average. It is very much like, I think 40,000 if you're 35, 40,000 if you're starting out as a brand new teacher. Most people are kind of maxing around 65, 70, the experience and years and all of that. I totally get it. However, I was quite surprised when I was reading some additional background information that our current taxes, if they were to raise the tax, they want to raise to 25 cents. So sales tax would now be $7 on items that you purchase, with the exception of groceries and I think gas and I want to say medications. They would be excluded from this tax. But I was surprised at the split as far as where the money goes, because I like to follow the paper. I like to follow the money. And out of that $675 currently, $475 goes to the state, and then the county is left with the remaining $2. I don't consider myself to be I'm not the smartest business person in the world. I'm just paying attention and reading and being aware. But it would seem to me that in any other business setup, business relationship, any other type of dealing, if you have a split with somebody like that ain't really fair or advantageous to you, wouldn't you go renegotiate? I feel like we hear so much in music, somebody doesn't have a contract that they think is fair. They let things go through and then they come back and they try to renegotiate, right? You try to refinance your mortgage. Your interest is too high. You go find another company. You refi, right? How come we don't go back to the table and say, you know what, state, instead of that $475 that we're giving y'all, we just gonna give you $450. Because that 25 cents could be going to the teachers. Therefore, y'all don't have to come asking me for an extra 25 cents on my taxes. Because honestly and truthfully, North Carolina is ranked 45th in the nation in education. Our schools, our public schools, nationwide, they're not that good. Statewide and nationwide. You have pockets where you might have one or two where, certain monies and things are flowing in that area based on whatever. So that school may be better than this school on this side of town, and so on and so forth. But as a collective, in comparison to the nation, 45th? And y'all want more money? I'm confused as to why y'all think this should happen. Honestly and truthfully, I'm going to vote no. I'm also a person who supports school choice. As somebody who went to private school for 12 years, as somebody whose mother worked in the public school system for 3 years, she was a substitute teacher and she still works at the county level. It's a no for me, dog. It's a no for me, dog. I also dislike this narrative surrounding like opportunity scholarships, that it's taking money, from public schools and giving it to the wealthiest of the state. Baby, I can tell you, I am not the wealthiest of the state. I am nowhere close to 6 figures. I received the maximum amount of the scholarship, and I still have to pay tuition out of pocket. I don't know what y'all think these private schools cost, but baby, I can tell you, even with receiving the maximum amount that the scholarship allows, I'm still responsible for tuition on a monthly basis. But I would rather that than send my child to some podunk school just because of where I live. If y'all want to see an increase in taxes and you want me to vote for it, I'm going to need to see an increase in these scores. I'm going to need to see an increase in the education numbers, because we should not be 45th and still asking for money. In any other situation, in any other business relationship particularly, you would not be giving additional money to somebody that ain't holding up their end of the bargain and doing what they're supposed to do with said money. But y'all blindly want me to keep giving money to a system that really isn't benefiting us. Like 45th in the nation out of 50 states, that is horrible. No, I'm not giving you more money. Go get it from the state. If y'all are splitting $6.75 with them getting $4.75 of it, you better get that 25 cents from the state. That sounds like a personal problem. And listen, again, I have friends who are teachers who have quit being teachers because of the public school system. So I really dislike this narrative that the scholarship only benefits the wealthiest. If you're not taking advantage of it and you make less than $60,000, $70,000 a year, and your child is being subjected to going to some school that is 45th in the nation, go get you that scholarship. It was easy to apply for. Again, I don't make 6 figures, baby, and I get the maximum, and I'm still paying out of pocket for school because it's worth it to me to make sure that my son is getting everything that he needs. And it shouldn't be simply based on the zip code or the house that we live in. I mean, my house was paid off and it was free. You think I wasn't going to move into it? But I have to send my child to a low functioning school because that's what's in this neighborhood? Absolutely not. And I'm sorry, but absolutely not. On that 25-cent tax, y'all been asking for money. I literally found an article from 2019. Y'all been asking for this. Y'all are always asking for money for the schools. And I'm sorry, it's not being applied correctly to me, in my opinion. If the school superintendent, I think she got a raise like a year or two ago. I remember seeing an article about her getting a raise because I pay attention. Just because I didn't go to public schools or whatever and my child doesn't go to it doesn't mean that I don't pay attention. My family went to public schools. If you're familiar with my area, my mother went to Smith High School. My whole family went to Smith. They either went to Smith or Dudley. And if you know, you know. Do you think my mother was going to send me to either of those schools? No, my parents chose to send me to private school, and they had their reasons, and I wholeheartedly agree with those reasons, and that's why I do it for my child, what I do for my child, and that's my prerogative. But continuing to ask me for money to support a system that's 45th in the nation, in what other relationship would you continue giving money to a failing product? Don't get me wrong. I know the teachers and the bus drivers and the cafeteria workers. I get it and I understand. Tell them county leaders, they need to go negotiate with the state. That $4.75 we're giving the state, get that 25 cent back. Get it back. Your girl's going to have to vote no on that. I'm excited about this election season. I was super well informed this year. Okay, I done did me a little sample ballot. I was reading through the issues, okay? I was looking up judge voting records and judge appellate decision record. Man, I've been all into it because I want to make sure that the votes that I am giving someone, I hope that they're not just talking just to talk, because we know how politicians can get down sometimes. But I'm hoping that people aren't talking just to talk and they're actually about the actions and the things that they are saying. that they're going to do. And I also wanted to follow up and look at people's records and what they've been doing currently. If you're currently in this position and you're running for re-election, well, let me see what you've been up to. Let me see what you've been doing. If I want to see if you're going to continue, or do we need some new blood? We need some new energy. Be a well-informed voter. Be a well-researched voter. Don't vote with your emotions, because that always gets you in trouble. Look at this as a business decision. Take the emotions out of it. A lot of this stuff you will realize, honestly and truthfully, does not make sense to continue voting for. That's it. That's all. Y'all have a great day.